Hey, how's it going everybody? Welcome back to Genesis. In this episode I'm going to continue on with my base build, and we'll see what else happens after I get a little bit sick of doing too much building. I've built a whole bunch of pieces and I'm going to extend this base so that it joins the outer part of this circle to create a dinosaur pen that runs all the way around the outside. It should be the same height as the first ceiling there, although there's a second ceiling above that. And I guess people haven't seen the base. I still haven't laid out my crafting stuff properly yet, but it's just a circular tower at this point. I don't really like this door, but you get stuck on it and you can't actually walk through. It's a bit annoying, so you have to duck. So I've got to work out what I'm doing with that. And then this upper level, and in the long run I'm going to put walkways that go across each of the pathways out to the top rim. At least that's the plan. For now though, I lost where I'm going. I've been playing around with how I want to actually extend the base, and I don't really want the foundations like this. I don't want to put too many foundations down. Now I can extend the foundations pretty much this far, but it starts looking a little bit odd when you actually have the foundation sitting up. You can change that to block, and it looks a bit better, but still it sticks out quite a lot, and I don't really want that. Switch to default. So the way that I am going to sink the foundations is you can actually use pillars to actually sink it down, but then the ceiling pieces don't attach properly. So what we can actually do is we can put a run of ceilings out following the same pattern. And then we need triangle. Done. And what I can do here is you put a wall down. Now I'm going to put one more down below that, but just to illustrate why you need another one is because a roof won't snap to the bottom of a wall. It will snap to the middle of a wall. So I have structure collision turned on, so it actually helps with this process, so I can put things into the ground. But now when I put a ceiling there, I put a pillar into that ceiling. All this just to create a sunken foundation. Without that pillar, I wouldn't have been able to put that foundation in. So if I grab that pillar, because I think I can. Yeah, so the triangle piece is trying to snap to everything else except that point. So you put a pillar in, and the foundation snaps to that pillar. And now that that's actually there, we can pick up that, we can pick up that. Pick up the foundations, and this should actually have foundation support all the way back to the building now. And so I now have created a situation where I can now create a ceiling that goes all the way out to this point plus 2, and so I'll end up doing the same thing. I'll sink down and I'll actually have some foundations down at this point, and that should then support the entire structure coming all the way out to here with minimal amount of foundations actually interfering with the view. Alright, I think something's gone wrong here. Seem to be a bit short. It should go that far, but I don't have support a little bit farther out, which means I suspect that I've ended up with an odd number of pieces running out. And so if we count these out here, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So there's 5 apiece there, but the other side wants 6, which means I need to take my polygon out 1 further, which will mean that I'll get a 6 and a 6 to make it even, rather than a 5 and a 6 on the outside. Bit of a pain, but it just looks like I've got to make my build bigger. Alright, time to add some outer walls and we'll see what this looks like.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Well, after all of that, let's take a look at what it kind of looks like. Jeez, that's big. Doesn't look like much yet though. I'm going to build the rest of it and then it'll probably look alright. I'll probably have to work out what I'm going to do for a gate as well. Alright, that gate's looking pretty good. It sits really high though. Not sure what I'm going to do about that. I might just have to live with that. But it'll probably look very different once I get all 3 on there, because I'm planning on having all 3 gates running to the different pathways that I have. Well, that was a bit of a marathon to get it to this point. It's looking pretty good. I'm very happy with it. It's only problem with it is it's, as I said a bit earlier, it's a bit boxy. I'm going to put some embellishments on it and maybe do something about the fact that it looks very plain. I might just fly up to the top and have a look what it looks from the rim. Well, that was lucky. Not sure how I survived that one. And there we have it. We have a foundation on the upper edge. Well, I have to say I'm quite happy with the results, but I think I might try and build it up a little bit. I find it's a little bit too thin, so I'm gonna probably create like a second layer underneath it so that it actually makes it look a bit bigger. Okay, well I'm happy with the look of that. Kind of makes it look like there's some kind of a girder or truss basically supporting it underneath. Yeah, we'll go with that. Well, it certainly does give it more substance. I'll just have to replicate that under the entirety of the bridge now. Alright, well I skipped out on a fair bit of this video here, but here's the end result. You see there's basically a nice thick layer of a walkway coming all the way down. And I think it looks actually pretty good. The only thing missing, which will be the next stage, is I need to put some decorations on here to give it something a bit more than just a plain look. And done. Only a couple left. I'll have to make a heap more yet. Let's get up and have another quick look. And you can already see that it's looking a little bit better. I think I might have to put some other things on there in the future. You know, looking at this, I'm actually thinking that that central tower needs to actually be a bit bigger, like a bit wider, to take up a bit more of the space. It's looking a bit barren at the top. I should be able to do that if I just make it a bit wider. Well, would you look at that? I reckon that extra wide layer does a hell of a good job to it. I possibly need to put the same kind of crenellations on the top of the central tower now as well. Just that little peak, just to give it a little bit of context as well. I'm really liking this pathway, very happy with it. Still not sure what I'm going to do about the pillars underneath. Whether I replicate the pillars, build box pillars, or something, just to give it, that needs a little bit of accent as well. Right? And I still keep running into things, which is really annoying, but I have to live with it. I do need to outfit my base now as well, which will be in the coming episodes where I actually lay this out how I want it to actually look and feel, whether I actually use the bottom layer as my crafting, or whether I actually move up here and use either this floor or the next one. Actually, I'll probably end up using this one, and I may just take out these walls and they're all superfluous. So this should all be actually held up by the support of the building. So I could actually create this very, very large open area here, which would then form my crafting and whatever else I might like to actually use it for. Yeah, actually way too big a space. But that's all that doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It's all about creating a fantastic build, which I'm definitely on the way to doing, with just a little bit more embellishment. Right, well, hopefully you enjoyed the music and the look and feel of the base that I now have in the bog biome, especially with this waterfall area, which is pretty fantastic. I'd always had an idea of building a base here, and now I've done it. But then, I guess it's back on to actually doing the game, rather than just building. Right, make sure you let me know down in the comments what you think, and other ways that I could possibly decorate it to make it look nice and tidy. Alright, thanks for watching, and hopefully see you in the next one.